Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Kizer Roach, the Matt Degnan design. This is another Kizer VG10 flipper, which is pretty much what these guys have gotten famous for and made a lot of money, is by just coming up with these really inexpensive yet high quality flippers with VG10 steel, G10 handles, and ceramic ball bearings in them so that they're super smooth and just enjoyable to use. So this one, as you can see, is a pretty interesting design. Very reminiscent of a Spyderco without the spider hole. Yeah, it's a pretty thick blade. I know there's a couple other people who make this style of blade, but yeah, I really like that finger choil. It reminds me of the Spyderco Mannix, and that's one of my favorite all-time EDCs. This has a really good ergonomic grip to it. This thing, just my hand falls in perfectly on this. This is a really good choke up position on this knife. You know, the fallback is okay, you know, but yeah, this knife is super heavy, guys. This is like 6 ounces. There's some really good stuff about this knife and really bad stuff. I like it nonetheless. Is it a practical EDC? No. Could you EDC it? Absolutely. Is it practical? Not really. Mostly because of the weight. It's like 6.5 ounces. Super, super heavy. But as far as a hard use knife, being this is a full flat grind, you know, with a pretty stout tip to it, I would have no problem using this for hard use, camping, stuff like that. You know, because it really lets you choke up. And if you had to really be carving on something hard, I think this would be a great design to do that. And VG10 steel is pretty good all-around steel, so yeah, I have no problems there. Take a little bit of a look at this thing. You can see it has that, what is it, like that DLC coating or whatever. It's, you know. But you guys at VG10, it's a little slippery on this model. It's not as textured as it should be. I really wish there was a little more texturing, but in the end, your hand locks up so good on it that you really don't need it. So it is kind of, I wish it was there, but it's not needed because there's no way this is coming out of my hands. You see you have the liners. There's a little bit of milled out in the liner, but not much. The liner lock has pretty good engagement with the blade. You can see about 80% of that is on there. Pivot pin is a standard Torx bit. Oh, we have a visitor. So no lanyard hole, which is a bit of a bummer. That weird curved pocket clip, so you can only carry this one way, which is right hand tip down. And even though I'm a lefty, that's fine because I always carry knives righty. So this fits into the pocket well. It's a little thick, so it's a little bulky, and it's going to take up a lot of pocket room, but it's still not bad. The pocket clip's done very well. It's wide enough to accommodate really thick pants, things like that. Has a nice pull to it. You can see the end of this is very thin, so you have to watch out if you have like cloth upholstery or something like that. This can very easily catch on it. I really wish they'd made it thicker like the one on the Barbosa, because that Barbosa doesn't catch on anything, but these thin ones like this do have a tendency to catch on things, especially with that kind of cloth upholstery. You got the little Roach on there. Action. You can see this thing goes out kind of slow. It's a big heavy blade, and it's a little awkward with its balance. So this thing goes out very kind of slow and steady. This is the tortoise. This is not a lightning fast flipper. This is a tortoise in the hair kind of thing, and this is the tortoise as far as flipping. It's smooth because it's riding on ball bearings. You know, nice and smooth, but it goes out very slow. It doesn't take a ton of effort, to be honest. Even though it is a big heavy blade, it goes out pretty easy. It's a very well designed flipper. And that lockup is a little bit of side to side, a little bit, not a ton, but most knives have that little hair of side to side, so it's really not noticeable, but it is there. I could probably tighten this up. I haven't disassembled this yet, so disassembly and reassembly might be able to take care of that. So, alright, so like I said, good. I think it's a really nice, well-built knife for hard use because of the ergonomics, how well your hand locks into this and can hold on to it. So if you're really bearing down and cutting some really tough wood or something, or a really thick piece of rope, it makes great for that. Is it a good EDC? It could be if you're not weight sensitive. I'm not very weight sensitive, but I still feel like it's a little bit heavy. Good, came sharp, you know, usual. It's VG10 steel, so it's real good there. But yeah, I mean, it's Only issues are, you know, like I said, it's kind of a slow flipper, which is really not a big deal for me. But if you are a knife fondler, the kind of person who plays with knives more than uses it, and it may not be your favorite thing on earth, but yeah, it's a good. The blade reminds me of a Spyderco, you know, and the knife reminds me. Holy cow, guys! Sorry about all the toys and background noise. I only have certain times I can film, and you know, so it reminds me of the Spyderco Manix, but with a better handle. It's that same kind of blade shape. It's a little bigger. It's like that extra large Manix, really. But it's that big blade shape, big leaf shaped blade that you can choke up on. But yeah, that hand, like I said, my hand locks in really good. I have small fingers, guys, so if you have big hands, big fingers, you may not lock into this very well. So, just so you know, it is on ball bearings, which is why this thing stays so smooth. This wasn't on ball bearings. This would probably be a real bear to open, being how heavy this thing is. You can see it's a pretty thick stock of steel that stays pretty thick the whole way. But a lot of the weight too, the balance you can see is actually in the handle. Most of the weight's in the handle. The balance point is actually right about here on this knife. So there's a lot of weight in those liners there, which, you know, really helps kind of counterbalance it. But at the same time, you know, like your balance point is right where this finger falls. So it's kind of, it's a little awkward with this balance, but it's really not bad. But yeah, you can get a lot out of this, a lot of use out of it. I really enjoy it. This is something I would definitely take camping. I don't know if I'd take it backpacking. I don't know if I want to carry a 6-ounce knife, you know, 8-10 miles. But as far as like going car camping or just like a quick overnight kind of thing, I would have no problem bringing this, being it is good VG10. And I'd really like the way this just locks into the hand. And you can see I lubed this thing up pretty good to see if it would speed it up. But it really didn't. You know, it's not an issue with the lube. It's just it's a big heavy blade. Blade centering's good. Fit and finish is really good. No issues there. But yeah, you know, kind of like it, kind of hate it. You know, I wish they'd make this in a 4-ounce knife, and I'd be kind of thrilled. You know, it really rockets out. But yeah, though, this is a winner. Just I think in the ergos. You know, being able to how you hold this, how it locks in. This is a knife I'd be very confident in putting a lot of pressure on it, knowing it wouldn't slip out, even if my hands were bloody, dirty, you know, whatever. I think this will hold really good. It's a really good handle on this thing. So I think it's definitely a nice knife, and I'm very happy I got it.